It looked like Las Vegas Raiders defensive coordinator Patrick Graham had some serious things to say about Shedeur Sanders. Guys, for this one here, we got to go all the way to Las Vegas. Let's get it. Let's go. I just got to be for real, man. A lot of these coaches are giving Shedeur his grace, respecting his ability to move the ball down the field, respecting his arm strength, and definitely respecting his skills at the quarterback position. Now, something that is making a lot of buzz today is from none other.
Everything you know is a lie, and somehow Shedeur Sanders just became the center of a plot twist so wild even Raiders DC Patrick Graham needed a chalkboard and a stress ball to explain it. What did he uncover? Why does it change everything? Stick around, you don't want to miss this.
The thing that stood out to me, there's leadership traits. I remember, I think at either the combine or he came to visit. Leadership traits, obviously the lineage from his father, great player, so he's been around good football his whole life, knows football. Then when you watch the tape that stands out, he can make the throws. There's some throws even last week, some throws in the preseason that were pretty good. The one down in the red area where he found, or two, I think in the red area he found them, on broken plays or like loose plays. He does a good job. He could throw the football. Definitely do that.
Apparently, the NFL has collectively decided that Shedeur Sanders is both the second coming of quarterback royalty and the most suspiciously targeted rookie since someone tried to tackle Tom Brady's aura in 2003.
Cleveland Browns offensive coordinator speaking about Shedeur Sanders, how he did against the Ravens. Now, I reported on this earlier, but I did not react to this specific session. So in this section of the interview, he spoke about how the Baltimore Ravens switched things up, right? So they switched things up, basically attacked Shedeur. Now, when Dylan Gabriel was in there, they did none of those things.
And now, Raiders defensive coordinator Patrick Graham has stepped forward like he just cracked the Da Vinci Code. Except it's the Shatter Code, and it's significantly pettier.
You can check it. All young quarterbacks think that's the move. They all think that's the move. And I've told y'all before, you could do that, but the monsters are back there. So you got, but I'm sure, Coach Stefanski and Coach Reese, they're working on it, step into the pocket. But, that all young quarterbacks tend to do that because in college it's just different. It's just different. You got Max Crosby, Watt, those guys, I would stay the hell away from being back there.
So here's the twist nobody asked for, but everyone's now pretending they always knew. According to Graham, the real story behind Shedeur isn't just about talent, fame, or Colorado highlight reels. It's about the absolute chaos this kid causes the moment he steps onto an NFL field.
I need a Shedeur letter grade on his NFL start.
All right. He is who they've been looking for.
Ooh.
Yep. For 50 years, who they've been looking for. They got it. He fell right into their lap in the 5th round. Maybe I'm not objective. Maybe you can disqualify me, but I was so happy for that young man last night and for his father up in that box. And yet, QBR hated him just the way the rest of the NFL has hated him.
Because the second he jogs out there, defensive coordinators across America suddenly turn into scientists discovering fire for the first time. New strategies, new schemes, new stunts. Every dial cranked to ruin his afternoon. And the funniest part, none of these defensive masterminds bothered with all that when the previous quarterback was in. Nope.
Shedeur Sanders' entrance into the NFL didn't quite go as he expected, slipping to the 5th round and then eventually going to the Browns, where he was at one point QB4. Shedeur called that fuel for his fire back then, and it took him 12 weeks of the NFL season to be able to show the National Football League why he deserved better. On Sunday, before his first career start against the Raiders, Shedeur Sanders, who, by the way, is Kevin Stefanski's 13th quarterback during his tenure alone to make at least one start, had this to say.
They saved the entire defensive playbook, the secret playbook, the dusty attic playbook, the break in case of emergency playbook, just for Shedeur. It's like watching someone pull out a first edition spell book to deal with a kid who just wants to complete a slant route. But here's where Patrick Graham really stirred the pot, because while the entire league is acting like Shedeur is some rare Pokemon that must be aggressively battled, the Browns seem to miss the memo.
It's an honest assessment. It isn't unique to Shedeur. I'm with you. Let's see how quickly he figures that out.
Well, listen, it's up to the one thing is I'm not gonna let a rookie quarterback figure out on his own. Here's what we're gonna do. That's why there's chains. There's why there's infrastructure. There's guardrails up there in our game plan that's gonna make it so that it eliminates some of those things.
They watched the Ravens send the entire federal government, 3 linebackers, and a smoke grenade at Shedeur, and responded by giving him an O-line that blocks like a Wi-Fi password, mostly symbolic. The Ravens respected Shedeur so much they practically staged a defensive intervention. Meanwhile, the Browns O-line gave "you're on your own, kid" energy.
We say all the time that a rising tide picks up all boats. The offensive line blocked better than I've seen them block all year. I thought, with the exception of that awful brain fart from Jerry Jeudy, I did think that the receivers were running hard routes. I think they were playing hard. I think it sparked the defense. There was clearly a jolt of energy that was sent through that Browns entire team.
And Graham, he broke it down like he was teaching a class called Defensive Pain 101. He's talking pad level, hand placement, leverage, angles, basically everything Shedeur's linemen should have been doing, but instead watched like they were reacting to a tornado warning. Then Graham casually mentions that Shedeur has tendencies, the same ones nearly every young quarterback has, like trying to escape backwards.
I mean, he showed NFL traits in the game yesterday. I mean, you're talking about a guy who, arm talent was on display. I think Shedeur Sanders had 3 plays of 35 plus yards yesterday. The Browns all year long from their quarterback position only had 1. And so you saw the arm talent from Shedeur Sanders. And listen, it wasn't perfect by no means yesterday, but I was encouraged by, the no sacks, the minimum amount of sacks that he took with the amount of pressure that he was taking from the Raiders defense. Seemed like he knew where the moment didn't seem too big. He knew where he wanted to go with the football.
And Graham's explanation? Simple. That's where the monsters live. Yeah, the monsters. As in, if Shedeur keeps trying that college escape route, he's going to discover Max Crosby waiting back there like he's guarding the gates of Mordor. But Graham doesn't stop there. He starts talking about the real reason defenses level up when Shedeur is under center. He's actually good. Like annoyingly good. Like make defensive coordinators sigh dramatically in the film room good.
And what did I see right away? I saw Shedeur Sanders set a new tone for the Browns. I saw him pull off passes that went 66 and 52 and 39 and set the tone. And the 52-yarder that we just saw was the play of the day in the National Football League. He's escaping right, rolling hard right. He's got a defender all over him. And he pulled off a throw that Dillon Gabriel couldn't pull off in his dreams.
So the Ravens didn't go nuclear because they were bored. They went nuclear because Shedeur came into the game. And the Baltimore sideline said, absolutely not. Tighten everything immediately. And Cleveland, they responded like someone who gets a warning about a hurricane and leaves their windows open because it'll probably be fine. Shedeur spent most of that game dodging blitzers like it was a family gathering, and he was avoiding the aunt who asked too many questions.
And it is 2 different teams with Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. They couldn't be any more different. Personality and play style. It reminds me of the New York Giants.
I was just going to say that.
When they threw Jackson Dart and Scadaboo in there, they didn't anticipate that this season. But a lot of energy, a lot of juice, a lot of excitement, some bonehead plays, but the game's got a lot more exciting. And the way Shedeur, everything's outside the pocket, big throws. He's running around the pocket. He's not staying calm and quiet in the pocket just yet. They couldn't get Dillon Gabriel to throw the ball downfield. It does almost look like he wasn't trying to throw the ball downfield. It seems like Shedeur is much more like.
But then Graham talks about Shedeur's leadership, his preparation, his instinct, his ability to throw darts in the red zone, his lineage, his composure, all the things that make defensive coaches whisper into their hands like, why did he have to come here? And suddenly it all clicks. The real story isn't that Shedeur is being targeted. The real story is that most of the league respects him too much. Cleveland respects him too little. And Patrick Graham has now confirmed that everyone is reacting to Shedeur like he's the early season plot twist they weren't ready for.
Special teams, offense, defense. Yesterday, why? Because they were just as curious as we were. Let's see what he can do with a week under his belt. And that excitement sparked something in this football team. Now, the key is, can he carry it over to San Francisco? And all of that, we're going to find out. But for what he was asked to do on Sunday and the amount of pressure he had to be under, his pops was there.
So now, as Shedeur heads into a week facing Max Crosby, the NFL's unofficial director of quarterback suffering, Patrick Graham is basically saying, good luck, kid, and for the love of football, stop running backward. Meanwhile, Cleveland is over there evaluating whether they might accidentally sabotage him again, or maybe try something wild like help. But here's the real question. What exactly did Graham uncover that nobody else wants to say out loud? Stick around, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and let me know your wildest theory in the comments.